the safe area.
Good morning, agents, and welcome to another daily episode of Target Loot today for Saturday, November 14th. The series that shows you the Target Loot map, farming tips and tricks, vendor reset highlights, and much more. I'm Agent Shadow, and if you enjoy my content, please consider pressing those subscribe and like buttons below. In the pinned comment, there are links to join my Discord, my Shadow Crew clan on all platforms, support my channel in all sorts of different ways, but we'll cover that and more at the end of the video. Let's go ahead and get started with the Dark Zones first. Of course, your daily reminder, the highlights from the vendors this week, then DC, and then New York City. Target Loot highlights last. Alright, agents, well, this is just your daily reminder to do your 3 weekly projects. First off, you got your weekly SHD requisitions, so you're just going to go ahead and donate all this stuff, and that is going to give you your first exotic cache and first named item. Second off, you're going to go to the summit and complete it on any difficulty. If you want to try to rush this, you could find a clan mate or, match make for someone that's on a way higher floor than you are, and that will also finish it for your second exotic cache and named item. And then, of course, lastly, you got your weekly legendary mission for your third exotic cache. That's Capitol Building Stronghold this week. Now, this is up to 4 different characters, so that's a total of 12 exotic caches and 8 named items. Alright, let's go check out the highlights for the Dark Zones and the vendor highlights this week. Alright, agents, we're over here at the highlights for the Dark Zones for today, and I want to just get started like usual with the main highlights from the vendors and Cassie, of course, as well. So over here at the clan vendor, we got a Fox's Prayer knee pads. That's 8% damage to targets out of cover, weapon damage, and crit hit chance. It's almost completely god rolled, and it's completely just made for the DPS builds. So if you don't have one, you don't have one as good as the one in the clan vendor, or you do and you just should buy a few extra just in case you want to put them on separate builds. I personally have multiple of them with headshot damage instead of crit hit chance, or crit hit damage instead of crit hit chance, so I would buy, as many as you might need. Otherwise, at the Cassie vendor, you got the strategic alignment backpack with perfect shock and awe, and that one is also rolled really well with a skill tier, skill haste, and crit hit chance, which I would roll that crit hit chance off for skill damage. Alright, over here in the highlights for the Dark Zones, we got gear system mods in DZ West, and there's nothing at the vendor that's recommended. I do not recommend farming for gear system mods in the Dark Zones. The loot is not as good. I only recommend the Dark Zones to you guys when there's Dark Zone exclusives or gear sets sometimes. Like System Corruption, of course. Over here in DZ South, we do have something worth farming for that was in the vendor last week. So the assault rifles, the DZ exclusive for assault rifles would be the RAILSPLITTER with perfect accurate. If you didn't pick it up last week in the vendors, then you can just farm for it today. Otherwise, at the DZ South vendor, we got the Devil's Due backpack with perfect clutch, and that is rolled with weapon damage, headshot damage, and explosive resistance, which of course you're going to want to roll that explosive resistance off for crit hit chance or crit hit damage. Alright, agents, and then over here in DZ East, we of course got the knee pads as targeted loot, and it seems like the past week it's been knee pads targeted loot many times, but that's good for anyone that's looking for the DZ exclusive Murakami named knee pads, which are the Emperor's Guard knee pads, and those give you 1% armor regen, and they mix extremely well with Foundry Bulwark and Golan gear and the Bellstone Armory brand. Otherwise, at the Dark Zone East vendor, you can pick up a named LMG, the New Reliable with perfectly optimized, which is probably one of my favorite LMGs in this game besides the Pestilence and the Carnage. Alright, let's go check out what we got on the north side and the highlights for the invaded missions this week. Alright, agents, we're over here at the highlights for the north side, and just really something I point out this week every day. It might be redundant for people that watch my video every day, and also thank you so much for that, guys. But Grand Washington Hotel is invaded this week, so you can run this for Puck's blueprint to craft the Nemesis at the White House. You just need that designated hitter deconstructed from Tidal Basin, I believe, and then of course you can go get Puck's blueprint here. If you've already run it on invaded and didn't get it to drop, just go to mission settings, toggle mission mode, and of course it will be invaded again, which you can run it again. And it's really, really important that you get it this week, you know, just so if you don't have that Nemesis, get that blueprint this week for sure. Otherwise, the highlights for the targeted loot would be, well, we got Foundry Bulwark, a Camp White Oak, that's an Armor Regen tank set. You know, you can mix it with, you know, some DPS hybrids, but the chest and backpack are raid exclusive, just like Future Initiative. And then you got Eclipse Protocol at Manning National Zoo. You want to run, well, my best build would be running 4 pieces of Eclipse Protocol with the Imperial Dynasty holster, or the Vile Mask with the Technician spec, or Demolition spec if you're running the Vile Mask, since it increases the damage of your Concussion Grenade, which increases the damage of your Vile Mask. And of course, 1 piece of Golan gear for that 10% status effects, which you can farm for at the Coney Island Amusement Park today. China Light's great for that explosives damage on artillery turret and seeker mine, you know, builds. Otherwise, you know, Kenley College is closed, and the summit you pick your own targeted loot. So let's go ahead and check out what we got on the west side. Alright, agents, we're over here at the west side targeted loot highlights, and I see a lot of good stuff to farm for. I'll start with the gear sets first, you know, just to get them out of the way. Strikers I never really recommend, but something that you might want to know if you do want to try it. The best way to use strikers is 3 pieces for that extra rate of fire. The 4 piece is just not really worth it, but 3 pieces can be worth it. You know, and then of course we got Hardwired at Potomac Event Center. Now, my best assault striker drone build, which by the way, stay tuned and hit those bell notifications because I got a couple build videos coming out from the PTS that's gonna blow this build out of the water by about 100,000 or more per shot with the turret, and keep you alive as well. But for now, 3 pieces of Hardwired with 2 pieces of Honda U, 1 piece of Wyvernware, and Kinetic Momentum or Glass Cannon on your chest piece. And on your backpack, you're going to want that Force Multiplier backpack with Perfect Combined Arms, which you can farm for over here at Grand Washington Hotel today. And, you know, knock 2 birds with 1 stone. You know, just being able to get the Puck's Blueprint and farm for that Force Multiplier, which you'll want Skill Haste and Skill Damage rolled on it, by the way. For normal targeted loot, we got DARPA Research Labs, Badger Tough. So this is where you can farm for the named 0F's chest piece with Perfect Unbreakable. Highly worth farming for DPS hybrid builds. We got LMGs at the Pentagon. Now the Pentagon's an interesting mission and I like running it because it's just kind of fun and I don't normally run it. But you can get the exotic Bullet King and the exotic Pestilence. Both of them are very good. I would say the Pestilence is probably the best though. And of course, you can also get some named LMGs like the Carnage, the Sleipnir, which you can craft at the White House. You know, the Good Times with Perfect Fast Hands, I think the Quiet Roar, and also plenty of others I might be forgetting. Sorry about that. Oh yeah, I was going to say the new Reliable with Perfectly Optimized, which you can buy at the DZ East vendor today, or this week. Grupo Sombro at Tidal Basin Stronghold, 1 piece for DPS sets, 2 pieces for your explosive skill damage builds. And you usually want all yellow on those if you're going for the skill damage. And then of course, holsters at West Potomac Park. You got 2 exotics you can farm for. That would be the Dodge City holster, and then of course the Imperial Dynasty holster. Otherwise, there is a good named holster you can get in the Light Zone, which is called the Forge, and it gives you 50% shield health, which is a whole extra skill tier towards your shield. Now, backpacks at Lincoln Memorial, for all the people that have already gotten the Memento backpack from, I believe, level 90 of the Season 3 reward track, you can refarm it. You know, if you need it for another build or, you know, you just need it for another character, you can farm it for sure. And I had a question from a subscriber, I think it was yesterday, about farming, you know, the type or brand. I always recommend farming the brand, not the type. You know, if you want a Providence Defense backpack, you want to farm Constitutional Hall today because you're looking for Providence Defense and you're probably going to end up getting less good Providence Defense backpacks here than you would just farming Providence Defense. But of course, you can also pick up the Sacrifice with Perfect Glass Cannon at Constitutional Hall today. It's Providence Defense Open World. A lot of people like that, being able to do CP4s because it usually yields more loot. And then yeah, we got masks over here at Downtown West. So of course there's 2 exotic masks you can get, the Coyotes mask and then the Vile mask like I was talking about previously. And then of course you can farm for the Punch Drunk mask with 20% extra headshot damage baked into it, but I would farm Downtown East today because that is a Douglas and Harding mask. We got submachine guns at West End, so this is where you can farm for 3 exotic SMGs. That is the Backfire SMG, the Chatterbox, and then of course the Lady Death. Now the Chatterbox, if you don't have that yet from the quest, I'll put a really fast 5-minute video on how to get it in the top right card now. And then the Backfire, you need to get it through the Season 3 reward track, and then you can re-farm for it. Alright, and then Overlord at White House, you can farm for the Fox's pair of knee pads, which gives you 8% damage to targets out of cover, but I just highly recommend getting it at the clan vendor. There's no reason to farm for it because you're going to be farming for a role that the clan already has. Alright agents, let's go ahead and check out the east side. Alright agents, we're over here at the east side target loot highlights, and like always I will get started with the gear sets first, and I see 3 or 4 of them. Here we go. So Hunter's Fury at Space Admin. You know, this is an SMG shotgun build. It's really great with hybrid builds. I'll put probably my favorite build in Title Update 11.1 in the top right card now. That utilizes 4 pieces of Hunter's Fury, and then of course the Memento backpack and the Death Grip gloves that are DZ exclusive 511 tactical, and it just gives you so much armor on kill and so much weapon damage. You just shred through content and hardly needing that shield. But you can use it because your shield is going to be like a tier 6-5. And then of course we got Tip of the Spear, Capitol Building Stronghold. This is really for specialization weapons. You know, using the crossbow to just one-shot like a doggo or sometimes a chunga, or at least strip the armor off of something in one hit. So it's really good for raids and legendaries. And then we got Future Initiative and American History Museum. So just like Foundry Bulwark, the chest and backpack are raid exclusive at the Iron Horse raid. Otherwise, you run around 4 pieces of a Future Initiative, and I usually would say mix it with an Alp Summit chest piece with Empathetic Resolve, and then a backpack with probably Safeguard. And then lastly, we got Negotiator's Dilemma DUA today. This is a great DPS set. You can run ARs, LMGs, SMGs with it. You know, I got a double LMG video I'll put up in the top right card as well that utilizes Negotiator's Dilemma. And, you know, you can utilize it in so many different ways. You can even use it with the Ridgeway's Pride chest piece. And let me know in the comment section below how that goes. Alright, so on to the regular loot. We already mentioned Douglas and Harding and Hana U, so we'll move forward from that. Now we do got shotguns at Jefferson Trade Center. You can farm for the Sweet Dreams exotic shotgun with the Sandman talent. You can one-hit anything that is not an elite, so purple and reds. And then of course you got the 3 best shotguns in this game, which is going to be the Mop with 10% armor on kill, Custom M8 70, and then of course the Marine Super 90. There is a new shotgun coming out with Title Update 12 called, I believe, the Scorpio, and testing it in the PTS, it is very OP and awesome, so definitely worth farming for when we get it. It's going to be a Season 4 reward. You got rifles at Viewpoint Museum. You can farm for the Diamondback and Merciless. Those would be the 2 exotic rifles that you can farm for here. Otherwise, I usually would say farm for a good M1A. The Harmony is a DZ exclusive, unfortunately, so you can't farm for it in the open world. And you always want to roll these rifles with the best, absolute best rifle damage talents, which is Boomerang, Rifleman, and Ranger. And of course, you want to run in sync if you're on a skill build. We got Sokolov at East Mall. You got 4 control points you can farm for today if you're looking for a piece of Sokolov. And remember, the optimization station is coming in Title Update 12. So if you get a really good rolled, piece, especially a chest or backpack with weapon damage, crit hit chance, and crit hit damage, oh man, just keep it, stash it, and you're gonna optimize that later, next month. We got Walker Harrison Co. at Air and Space Museum. You can farm for the Chain Killer chest piece with Perfect Headhunter on it. It's absolutely necessary for headshot damage builds. I mean, you want to hit a headshot for over 20 million. Chain Killer chest piece is the way to go. We got chest pieces at Federal Triangle. There's 2 exotic chest pieces in this game, the Tardigrade exotic and the Ridgeway's Pride. But you need to complete the project for the Ridgeway's Pride or have someone share it with you, and that goes with all exotics. If someone shares, say, a Nemesis with you, then you'll complete the project and it will become part of your targeted loot after that. Yeah, that's about it for the East Side target loot highlights. Let's go check out what we got in New York City. Alright, agents, we're over here lastly at New York City target loot highlights, and getting started off with the gear sets. I'm going to start off with Battery Park. We got Ongoing Directive. Now, I really enjoy this build. It's 4 pieces of Ongoing Directive, the Ridgeway's Pride, and then of course I believe there was one more piece. I can't even remember, but I'll put it in the overlay in the bottom. Absolutely shreds through content, but it's pretty much for solo play. Now you got Aces and Eights at Wall Street. What you can do is farm here for another headshot damage build that isn't all high end. It would be 3 pieces of Aces and Eights, 2 pieces of Geraldo Holding, and then a Chain Killer chess piece. That's probably the easiest and one of the best headshot damage builds you can make. Of course, roll everything with headshot damage onto it, and then for the Geraldo Holdings, if you're farming for it, you want Vigilance or Composure on your backpack, and rolled with weapon damage, weapon handling, and then of course, headshot damage. We got True Patriot over here at Civic Center. You know, True Patriot is one of my favorite builds right now with SMGs and assault rifles. I'll put an example of my, probably one of my favorite builds in this game right now, besides the one I mentioned in the first part in DC. And that's my 4-piece True Patriot with a Memento and 1-piece Sokolov chest with Intimidate on it. Absolutely shreds through content with the Lady Death or the Dark Winter, and highly worth farming for. And you just want it rolled with armor and crit hit chance or crit hit damage. Now moving on to the regular loot, we do have Petrov at Financial District. You can farm for the Contractor's Gloves. They give you 8% damage to armor. You can stack that with LMGs or with damage to armor builds. And yeah, that's pretty much it that I recommend for New York City target loot highlights. Alright, agents, well, that was the target loot for today. Thank you so much for watching, and be sure to subscribe, like, and share if you enjoyed my content. If you would like to become a member for support and exclusive perks, that would be awesome to click the join button below. I'm working on all sorts of custom emojis, working on exclusive perks for you guys, and I'll always shout you out in my videos, no matter what, as long as you're on the first or last tier. You can also grab some Shadow Gaming merchandise by clicking the link in the pinned comment or video description below. I've lowered the prices as low as I can get them on my merch store. I got a promo code for free shipping until the 30th of November, which is about an $8 savings. And then of course I got my new Shadow Gaming hat that I really like, and I'm about to get on the 21st when I get paid. I'm going to just buy 4 of them for me and my wife and my 2 kids. You can also support me on alt tech like Patreon and Subscribestar for extra support, or subscribe to me over there on Storyfire or BitChute. I like to just diversify Division 2 content and get it out to a larger audience, and also support alt tech at the same time. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, because I know the people that are watching this video right now to the end, that's really the best way to support me. Just watching the video all the way to the end, and if you use an ad blocker, just disable it for my videos if you want. Take care, agents, and be sure to stay tuned for more daily Division 2 content. This is Agent Shadow signing off. I will see you in the next video. Take care, agents.